Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another installment of Pod Gaming's Blank or No! Alright folks, here are the rules. Each episode, your hosts Marshall and Shawn will discuss a certain aspect of video gaming. Each host will present their case for whether or not the trope is a good idea. Take it away, Marshall and Shawn!
Welcome back to Philosophy of Gaming. Today we have a guest star, Eric, our editor, and we are doing a rapid fire blank or no, something to kind of close out season 1 of our blank or no videos that we've done so far. This is going to be 4 or 5 different topics that we talk about here in a pretty much length of one video, and we're going to start it off
real quick. So just to clarify, these topics they're topics that we originally wanted to do full videos on, but there's just not enough there to really make a full video out of it. So they're just going to be kind of like little mini
So the stuff you have not seen before.
Right.
Let's start it off with side quests. What are your thoughts?
Side quests or no?
Side quests or no?
Okay, so without going overboard, so I think they are a kind of necessary evil. Like for me, for example, let's say you're playing the main video game, right? You're playing the main story, but you don't want the video game to end, or maybe you just want to take a break from it. Maybe you can just like stop playing that game, play a different game, or like go outside, meet friends, meet somebody, that sort of stuff. Or you can play side quests, prolong your experience with the game, and then maybe get some bonus experience points. So maybe you can unlock some stuff that you need for the main story, that sort of stuff. So my answer is yes.
Side quests, a story on how to be more antisocial.
I'm also, I think, a yes on it too. I don't see it necessarily as a necessary evil. It just seems like it's more content that's added to the game. I think a lot of games do a good job of making interesting side quests. I have a problem when there are some games out there that just kind of have really vanilla, boring, sort of just going through the motion sort of side quests. But to Eric's point, yes, it does grant access to, depending on the game, more XP. You can level up so that way you're more powerful to do the main quest, or you get different items, weapons, gear, so forth. I think that overall it's a good thing to have in games. I think that there's some games that do it better than others, but overall,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that there's a point where side quests need to stop. There's games like Skyrim, which is an incredible game, and it just feels too filled with side quests to actually feel compelled to finish the main story, because you just want to do all the side quests. And I think that's the biggest problem with side quests.
Can I make a quick comment about Skyrim
Sure.
real quick? When I was in the Navy, there was a guy that I worked with there, and he was a total tech guy. He downloaded like this program on his computer where he just basically took every single quest of Skyrim, and it just would pop up, quest started, quest completed, quest, and just went on and completed the quest as fast as possible. He said even that took hours.
Yeah. So I think that there are a lot of games like that where they've just put in far too many side quests. And this actually touches on a topic that Shawn and I are going to talk about in a separate video where we talk about lore. But there's a lot of lore in these side quests, but whether it's necessary and whether it's something that actually keeps you playing the game is hard to say.
Some of the lore is empty.
Yeah, some of the lore is empty. Some of the lore is unnecessary, and some of the side quests are just unnecessary. And I feel like there's a point where the side quests just feel like, I feel like I'm doing too much. I want to get back to the story, but then you feel like, well, I shouldn't, because there's too much to do. I should do them instead. And so I do think side quests are good, but I think that they need to be pared down a bit in these open world games. I still think they should exist, and I think they should be in all these towns and random places, but I think maybe less of them would probably be ideal so that you could do them and get back to the story faster.
So overall, we're all yes on that one then?
I think we're all a yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yay! Next up, this is a different one. Couch co-op in today's world, or no?
So what do you mean by couch co-op in this case?
Like split screen?
I mean, like if you're sitting on a couch and you're playing on the same screen, yes.
So like split screen.
Split screen or same screen in certain games like Hunter, game that you love.
Okay.
Yes, Hunter the Reckoning.
Okay. So I actually would also say yes to this. So there's an old game that I really love from back in the day. It's called Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. So that
Again.
that is a Mortal Kombat, but
That's all this guy talks about.
However, that's The difference with that is that it's more like a adventure type game where you kind of, it's like hack and slash. It's like, what if Mortal Kombat met God of War? But there are like points in the game where you can do single or you can do co-op, and I think co-op is beneficial because like there are certain areas you need to reach that would be better if someone was playing with you. And it's kind of designed for that. So there are the games that definitely do benefit from that. So in this case, yes, I say co-op, couch co-op, yes.
I feel like a game where couch co-op is going to make the game easier, I'm not a fan of that. Like what you just explained, like certain areas would be easier to get through.
Yeah.
If you're going to add in co-op from a single player game to make it a 2-player game on the same screen, I think the biggest thing that they need to do is make sure that the enemies and everything are scaled so that it's the same difficulty.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit more difficult than just 2 times, maybe 2.5 times more difficult, because now you have 2 people facing different directions potentially to do different
A lot
things.
of games might have settings that can do something like that, though.
Maybe. And this does matter differently in different types of games. Look at Halo, for example. When you play co-op on Halo, massively easier experience
It can be,
than when you're playing the single player. Depending on the difficulty, that obviously makes a difference. But let's say you're playing on normal mode on Halo. You by yourself are going to have a harder time or a slower time to complete everything than you with a friend. So I think that co-op is good because, especially couch co-op in today's world, which is kind of what this question is based around, in today's world, the one thing I like about this is that you have real human interaction.
Absolutely.
I think that is the number one reason that I would agree that it should continue to exist.
Okay, so my take on it, pretty simple and straightforward. There's two types of couch co-op. There's one where it's like a single player game, but you can also play with a friend. Whether the game is made easier by doing that or if settings make it harder, either way, totally fine. And there's some games where it's actually designed for like a couch co-op thing, kind of like Hunter the Reckoning, very old school kind of games.
Was Last of Us like that?
No, it
Last
was
of
very
Us is
much a single player game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like that one game that
There was one game newer that
there's a prison game where
2
it's like,
people in different areas.
Yeah.
And they have to. I thought that was
that game
I don't know
is,
why I thought it was
and
last
I
one.
think that's an example of like a game where you don't even need someone doesn't even need the game to play. They can just be invited. Whatever. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, but my basic point for this topic is there's a lot of different types of video games out there, a lot of variety, a lot of different ways to play them, and couch co-op is one different type of playing games. I don't see any reason why it's a bad thing, and to your point, I think it's a good thing. That way it's actually more human to human interaction. We need more of that too.
And I think a big thing,
yes.
yeah, and I think a big thing too to close that out too is like when you look at party games, they're all done in person generally.
Like Wii Sports.
Or like Nidhogg, right? Like
that one's fun.
And that's not co-op, that's opposing sides, but
it's still couch split screen or
it's so much more fun in person.
Also, it reminds you of those old days where you have all your friends together, like, hey, sleepover nights, let's play some split screen stuff. Yay.
Yeah, it brings you back. It's nostalgic.
See the previous episode for more information.
Screen looking. Now, that's all we've really
Okay, I have an answer.
looking or no.
put into this. So screen looking or no?
Okay.
Yes, tell us.
Okay. So morally and ethically speaking, the answer is no. However, if
The
you're
right
a
way.
cheat, however, if you are the kind of guy who wants to get ahead and cheat his way, it's okay to be like, hey, where is he at over there? Yeah. So
This kind of goes hand in hand with
it,
couch co-op.
it does. So I'm going to say ultimately, realistically speaking, no. But if you want to be that guy, sure, why not?
You go first.
Okay. Screen looking is, to me, I'm a yes. Yeah. Dude, I mean, look, bro, it's on the same screen. Like, if it was on a different screen, you're cheating. But if it's on the same screen, you're not cheating, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. So weird. We're going to agree on this.
yeah, I figured that's
Take
why
it
you
from the
went
guy
away.
who's in favor of camping to have this opinion too.
Oh yeah, you love camping.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Takes skill. When it comes to screen looking, I get the moral and ethical side of it, but it is there. There is just simply no way of avoiding it. And here's another point too, is that whoever is the most familiar with the game and the map to know where your buddy is at on the screen, so that way you can go after him.
Not really gonna
It's
win.
more or less kind of knowledge of not just your abilities and dexterity to play the game, but also to know the map a little bit better, and you might do well.
It actually reminds me of the last time I got together with 3 other friends and we played just, some stuff on the old Call of Duty maps, and we just got 4 of us together on split screen, and
I think
because
of
we're all
007
together.
GoldenEye for this example.
Well,
That is the
old
perfect
school,
example.
but
That is the gold standard by screen locking.
You can't
Halo
avoid
2.
it.
Halo is a good example as well.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
You can't avoid it, and it's just kind of an inherent part of gaming, at least in that type. So I'm a yes.
So I'm technically no. You are a yes, and you.
This is the first time we've deviated.
It
There's
is.
a difference of opinion.
This is fascinating. Very fascinating. So I'm kind of the tiebreaker here. So whatever.
All right. Next up, inverted y-axis or no. As you can tell, this is
No.
not something that we would have a 20-minute video discussion on, but I'm sure Shawn could fill the time.
What are you, a freak?
Are you a no?
What is it? I know, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
I know what it means.
When you
but
press down, what happens?
Yeah, so when you press down on the joystick,
You go
look
up.
and when you press up, you look down. I don't see what the problem
On
is.
a
And also,
3D or
do you also
wait,
do-
3D or first person?
Yes.
Or third person or third person?
Yes.
let me ask you: do you also do x-axis, where if you go
No.
right, you go left?
No.
Okay, at least
No.
you're not that much of a freak. Okay,
No.
good to know.
No, so here's the thing. With the inverted y-axis, first of all, you guys are both no's, right, on this?
Hell yeah, no.
No. It depends on first or third for me.
Okay, why would you say that?
In third person, the axis should be off of the character in front of you that you are seeing on the screen. And so when you hit up, it should go
The
down.
view is
I don't know.
rolling the view
The
down.
view should go down
Yeah.
and vice versa, which is hard to explain. But in
I
third
know what you mean.
person, absolutely. And same thing with the x-axis actually for me. But in first person, hell no.
Yeah, even for me, first person, absolute yes. The reason why is because it is just the most superior way to play video games, first and foremost. Usually those of us who play like this are just
You're so
oftentimes
full of it.
better. I think that there's 2 reasons.
Telling me.
I think why I think it's the way that your brain works, right? I think there's 2 reasons why for me. One is like, if you imagine like you're like flying an airplane, I think the original Star Fox games were like this, and 007 GoldenEye might have actually been like this too with some
That's
of the
how
aiming.
airplanes work, though.
But you pull up, you pull back, which is kind of what you're doing with the controller, right? If
So
this
you're
is-
basing it based off of flight controls.
right, but if you pull up,
So just
pull
play a
back,
flight
you're looking
simulator
up.
game, for
But
Christ's
Star
sake.
Fox 64, I think, is what kind of started getting me
Oh my god.
thinking like this. But then also the way I think about it too is like, I mean, I was a heavy equipment operator, so when you pull back, usually the arm of whatever, like for a backhoe, would go up. So it's just a way that your brain is wired. I'm the only person I've ever met that plays video games.
Yeah, probably for
the
good
inverted y-axis.
freaking reason.
like I said, in third person, I'm with you, but not in first. That's weird.
Okay, so we have a yes, a no, and an undecided.
I'm
Shocker
not
there.
undecided.
No, he said flat out no. So
You have to pick overall.
I can't. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Overall, ever? If it's overall, I would say no.
Okay, so then.
But I'm
yes,
not going to
no,
pick that because I will play third-person games within inverted.
Okay.
But I'm not going to play a first-person game that way, no matter what.
Okay.
I would play the third person either way.
Think of it
that's
like this.
still weird. to
I don't
me.
know if anyone can see that. You press down. On
Yeah,
the,
I got that, but
well, you can, but they can't. Because
I know, but whatever.
I'll explain
You press
it like
down,
this.
it goes like this. Whoop.
If the pen
and
is
you're
the
looking up.
character and the cap is the camera, right?
What
If
did I
you
get
press
myself into?
down, the camera should be moving down, but the frame of reference from the camera's
What did I
perspective
get
is
myself
up.
into?
That's what
What
he's
did I
saying.
get myself into?
That's because your axis of movement is in front of you. That's why.
Right,
But
I
in
get
first
that.
person,
Oh, God.
that
I
makes
get that.
absolutely no sense. Sean's wrong. Next topic.
Yes, please. Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is kind of a weird one. Cheating or cheats or no. And we're not talking about in multiplayer
cheating, yeah.
games. We're not talking about real cheating. We're talking about cheat codes.
Cheat codes, mods that make you cheat.
Game Shark.
Yeah.
So my answer for that one is yes. Unfortunately, you can't do it for newer games because they don't really have cheat codes for newer games anymore.
There
But
are some games that actually have like cheat settings in there, like you can unlock certain cheat
Right,
things that you can apply.
right.
Ratchet and Clank used to do things like that.
they
007
do
GoldenEye did
they
that.
do hinder your ability to like get recognized for any trophies or achievements though, which kind of does suck.
Yes, as soon as you run a cheat in PlayStation,
I don't care at all about achievements though.
It does the same
you're
thing
wrong.
for Xbox too. I've seen it for a few games, but relatively speaking, if we want to talk about older games pre Xbox 360 and PS3, absolutely, cheats are the way to go.
no, you first. I went first.
All right. I think I'm a hard no on it. I mean, it's kind of fun. Like I said, in a game like 007 or Ratchet and Clank, my two examples, it's kind of fun to go through and unlock them, and then you get to play with it a little bit. But it's a little bit too game breaking. It just gets rid of all of the challenge. It gets rid of what makes the game fun. So I would just say no, especially like even like with Game Shark 2, it ruins. It's fun to break the game at first, but then the game is still broken and you don't get to enjoy it.
Now you have infinite master balls. Cool.
Catch everything.
What's the point?
Yeah. Where's the challenge? Here's a philosophical.
I do see where you're going with this though, yeah.
Satisfaction can be found in life by having challenges or obstacles and then overcoming them. And then if you have no challenges whatsoever, then you're just not being fulfilled in any way.
See, I
Yes.
get where you're going with this,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm like, at some point, I'm like, I just want to get through this game. I think it'd be a little bit fun if I could have some fun with this. Let's see what I can do with some cheats.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Oy vey. You know I'm editing this,
You
right?
know, this actually, yes, I do. This actually makes me think of spoilers or no, because, you know, spoilers is kind of the same thing. It's like you see them and it's like, well, then what's the point of watching? And
That's-
it's similarly,
so, yeah,
it's similar.
it's
It's,
the-
not
it's-
identical, but it's similar.
Spoilers is kind of that same idea for the story of it, whereas cheats is that same idea for the gameplay side
Now,
of it.
I feel like we must address something.
What?
We are doing a Pokemon randomized Nuzlocke.
In a way, that is a
Is
cheat.
that cheating?
I would consider that to be a cheat.
I would
That
say
be like
that
a
it
Game
is,
Shark.
but I'd say that this is one of those cheats that does not make it. I'd say it's a mod.
Yeah, I think
It's a
that
mod, and
mods
it
in
doesn't
general-
it doesn't necessarily make the game easier. It may, but it also could potentially make
but
it way
it's
harder.
It's not a cheat though either, right? Because it's a mod. It breaks the game, but it doesn't break the game in favor of just breezing through it. It actually adds its own unique challenges that you couldn't
Level of
otherwise
difficulty.
play through the vanilla version of the game. Mods like that, I think of like Skyrim and Fallout. There's a lot of mods you can add to those games that even make the game overwhelmingly more challenging. And if you're already so used to the game, like we've played and beat that Pokemon game many times over since we were kids. Now we're playing it in a completely new and different way that is far more challenging, especially since the rules that we've viciously imposed on ourselves with that series. It just adds an extra way of playing the game that you haven't done before, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So you're no on cheats.
Correct.
I'm no on cheats. You're yes on cheats.
Only with older video games.
What are you on Nuzlocks?
See, I'll be honest,
Or just mods in general.
mods. So in terms of mods, usually when it comes to like PC for me, to be fair, I don't play PC. I'm only just the consoles. I have a Mac. Okay, Macs don't really allow for mods. So me, it's more of purely cosmetic kind of thing. Like, what if I want my characters to look a certain way or whatnot? So, like, for example, there's a good game I like on the PlayStation called Sifu. That's basically a beat 'em up game. But of
course it is.
Another fighting game.
But
That's all this guy talks about.
so that's my niche. But you can do mods where you can have your character look like Batman or Daredevil, and it just adds to the
Fighting game characters.
yeah. But what? Okay, just
I'm kidding.
play the game. Play the game. It's actually a lot of fun.
No.
Oh, come on,
And I'm
dude.
not watching
But
Mortal
for
Kombat
me,
movie.
for me, it's more of okay. Well, you're fun, but yeah, for me, it's purely just more of a cosmetic kind of thing for mods. Because like there is one older game that I really like that is very much part of my childhood. It's Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which was back in 2006, very much like an RPG kind of game where. But for what I've seen on for mods is they bring in characters that were never even designed for the games. And then I've seen one where they like bring in like, oh yeah, you can play Goku in like one mod, or you can play like the entire Justice League, DC, not even Marvel, like in one version of a mod. So like it really kind of it's for me, it's purely a cosmetic thing.
Yeah, I'm mods no, Goku yes.
Dragon Ball is great. I love Dragon Ball.
So wait, are you kind of a no on the mods then, or
I mean, on a cosmetic scale, yes.
yes
Just
or a no,
pure
or
on
yes or a
pure
yes?
on
He's
looks.
a yes.
Pure on looks, yes. I don't know how I feel about mods on anything else. I mean,
So
we
let me
can
get-
talk about GTA mods, but that's like a whole other discussion.
Let me get this straight. So he likes imposing cheats to make the game easier, but he doesn't like mods that make the game more challenging.
That's what difficulty levels are for. I'm kind of a weird contradictorian, or however the word is. I'm sure I'll like leave a comment on the video somewhere. I don't know.
And this guy's editing our video.
Yes, I am.
Scary.
Do we have any more topics, or is that the last one?
That's it. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you for joining us. And we had a really fun time doing this kind of speed round, lightning round, rapid fire
Let us
round
know your opinions in the comment section too.
on every topic.
Every topic we want to know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We're super excited to have Eric, our editor, as a guest on it. Eric, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. If you guys want to check out more of my editing work, just keep continuing watching Pog.
And also check out his YouTube channel. He's got a podcast. It's called Two Nerdskis in a Podcast. You can visit that. It'll have a link down in the description. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.